What's going on YouTube? So not long ago, we took a first look at the next generation Civic Type R while still under wrap at the Mid-Ohio Indy race. However, today we have the all-new generation fully revealed in person. We're standing in the infield of the Nashville Super Speedway. But let's go ahead and get right into this review and take a look at the hottest Honda hatch. So there's been 6 generations of the Type R. This is going to be the second generation sold in the US. Now, as you can see, behold the new Type R. This is what the exterior looks like. Of course, when it was camoed, we could tell certain things about it, but now that they've taken that off, we can finally see all the details. And I have to say, I really like what I'm seeing. So this is lower, wider, and longer than before. And that gives everything a real menacing stance that really is bold. But also, I'm noticing in certain ways, this is a little bit kind of toned down and classier, more mature looking. So let's take a look first at the grille. As you can see, of course, you have certain Civic elements, but we do have a nice gloss black finish over all the fascia elements, both the top and the lower fascia. You've got that big red Honda badge right there. And then Type R is badged, but it is kind of blended in, also finished in the gloss black. I kind of like that stealthy appearance to the model. Now the lower fascia, as you can see, very large. Obviously you're gonna get plenty of airflow. None of this is sealed off because we need all that airflow as well as good aerodynamics. And as you can see, the gloss black spoiler continues over into this area. A lot classier and cleaner than the previous generation because we don't have any of those large fake vents. Now taking a look at our headlights, we do have LED headlights, of course. These are very similar to the standard Civic, but we do have a smoked finish on board. Got your LED turn signal indicator as well. And speaking of vents, let's go up here and take a look at the hood vent. Like we mentioned in the camoed version, the hood vent's actually reversed from what it was previously. So rather than having airflow come into it this way, we're actually having airflow come in and then out of it for cooling purposes since it's facing the opposite direction, finished again in that nice gloss black. Really love the way the gloss black elements contrast with the paint color. So this is called Championship White, and it's going to be one of 5 different color schemes available on the Type R, but the Championship White is exclusive to the Type R. Let's go ahead and take a look at our wheels next. As you can see, we do have an exclusive design for the Type R. Really nice matte black finish on board for these 19-inch alloy wheels. Yes, they are 19 inches. I believe the previous generation was 20 inches. However, they still look fantastic. Also, since you have a lot of open space, it really shows off these Brembo brake calipers, which look fantastic, and they are standard, matching with that red Honda emblem. As far as the tires, we do have Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires. And of course, the fender flares themselves are really, pushed outward to accommodate for the wider wheel. And it does come down into a functional vent right here behind the tire. Now, as far as the mirrors are going to be concerned, standard Civic affair, nice gloss black finish. We still have got blind spot monitoring, heating, the stuff you expect to see. And I'll let Mason kind of push back here to the side of the vehicle. As you can see, like I mentioned, since it moved to the next generation Civic hatch, that does mean it's about 1 inch longer than the previous generation. We do have the aggressive gloss black splitter that runs down the side there. And one of the exclusive things about the Type R is the fact that the back doors are actually totally different from the standard hatchback model because, as you can see, as it's coming into the wider fender flare here, they did have to make this door itself a little bit wider. So this is a totally new part for the Type R. And of course, we can't forget about the signature rear end. Obviously, on the last generation, it was absolutely crazy. I mean, they had design elements everywhere, a spoiler that's bigger than anything I had ever seen. And a lot of that does carry on, but again, just like the front, everything's a little bit more subdued, a little less boy racer, a little more mature, but still fun. That being said, the spoiler is still gigantic, don't get me wrong. It just looks a little bit more tastefully put together than the previous generation. As you can see, I'm estimating us stands at least a foot, maybe a foot and a half off of the back here. So definitely going to stand out a lot. I'm sure, put down a lot of downforce as well. Again, red Honda badging, Civic Type R. And then we've got the smoked, partially LED taillights here in the back. Again, just like with the front, gone are the large fake vents. Instead, we just have this small gloss black accent, but we do still have a very, very aggressive lower diffuser here. As you can see, lots of details going on here, and then the signature 3 exhaust pipes mounted there in the center, 2 a little bit smaller and 1 absolutely gigantic right there in the middle. Hopefully, this will sound even better than before. We don't really know though, because we haven't listened to it quite yet. Now, we don't have every single detail about the new Type R. One of those things is going to be the safety systems. We don't know which ones will be offered or standard. However, on this model, I am noticing we do have a camera up here in the front, which I'm assuming will allow for some of the Honda sensing safety features to be included here with the Type R. And then, of course, your warranty is going to be your typical Honda Civic warranty. But anyways, guys, that's it for this exterior of the all-new Honda Civic Type R. It really is a beast on the outside, but this is also the first time we've seen the interior. So I'll go ahead and hand it off to Mason, who will show you guys that. Okay, guys, it is my privilege to hop on the inside of this all-new Civic Type R. So, of course, you know a lot about the Honda Civic cabin already, so we're gonna pretty much just cover the changes for the Type R. If you want a really detailed dive at the Civic cabin, we have tons of Civic reviews on our channel, the Civic hatchback, all of that you can go ahead and watch. Now, I also want to make a little disclaimer here and say that this model is pre-production. This is very early on in the Civic Type R build, so they're still working out some of the kinks. Some of the things might be manipulated a little bit for that actual production model, but this will give you a good reference point. Now, let's go ahead and talk about just in general the cabin. We have a really nice cabin, soft touch materials on all the upper parts, just like any Civic. We do have a nice darker trim going through the middle here for Type R duty, and we're also going to have Type R branding right here, and it also will include the number. This one's 000 because it's pre-production. And then we have our vent that goes all the way through the middle. Of course, we have some special trim down here for Type R duty, and we also have our R drive mode here, so that's going to be really fun to test out once we finally get to drive this vehicle later this year. Now, as far as your steering wheel, we do have a special steering wheel for Type R duty. It's about the same design as the regular Civic model. However, we're going to have that red Honda emblem here in the middle to remind you that you went for the Mac Daddy Civic Type R. We're also going to have digital gauges as well up here. I don't have the key, or I would power on the vehicle, but you can trust me, it has digital gauges, and you also have a really nice display here as well. Now, let's take a look at the seats, though, because that's probably the main element about the Civic Type R's cabin that's different. So you're going to have absolutely gorgeous seats. These are some of the most comfortable seats I've ever sat my butt in, and I'm not lying when I say that. These are finished in a nice Alcantara trim. They are red on this model. You have a lot of just beautiful detail work going on here. We have Type R kind of stamped into the headrest here. We also have some like airflow vents. I mean, these are just some of the coolest looking seats that you can get. Now, in addition to that, we're also going to have red seat belts. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but we have red seat belts to finish off that really sporty design. So you're definitely going to appreciate all of that going on in the Type R. Now, as far as some other elements, you're going to have signature Honda storage, so you're definitely going to have plenty of space to fit our coupons. We don't have them with us right now, but lots of space there. The armrest is going to be finished in Alcantara for Type R duty. And then coming up, we have this baby right here. I know you love it. This is the 6-speed manual shifter. So this is, oh my gosh, guys. I can't really put into words how nice this feels in your hand, but it really does feel absolutely great. You're going to have that nice metal clank that all Civics have had with the manual transmission. So if you enjoy manual shifting, this transmission and this gear shifter are definitely going to be very enjoyable in this Type R. All right, guys, now is the important part, and the reason you really buy a Civic Type R is what's under the hood. Now, despite having a really cool motor inside of here, it does actually have a lot of cool elements I want to discuss with you. Now, of course, we don't have full information quite at the time of this video. All the information will be released later this year, hopefully when we're able to drive this Civic Type R. Now, what we do know, though, is that this motor is going to be a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder engine, and Honda has said that it's going to make more power than the current generation Honda Civic. So that, for reference, is 306 horsepower, so you can expect to have more horsepower than that current model. Now, you're going to, of course, have a visceral and very connected feel, as we've seen teased on a lot of the Nürburgring track footage. And, of course, you can expect an amazing chassis, and it's going to be absolutely awesome to drive. So we definitely look forward to driving it later this year. Now, if you're concerned about the transmission, we do, of course, also know that you're going to have a 6-speed manual transmission. That's going to be your only option. You're also going to have rev matching as well. So you're going to have that nice direct feel with the car because you're going to be rowing your own for the gears. They're not even going to offer any type of automated transmission. Now, of course, we don't have fuel economy figures, and for the price, we don't have official pricing yet. However, the current Civic Type R was about $37,000. We expect that price to rise a little bit, so we're looking at, I'd say, around $40,000 for reference. But guys, we hope you enjoyed this walk-around review of the all-new 2023 Honda Civic Type R. This is, of course, a beautiful vehicle. I'm so glad we got the chance to look at it here at gorgeous Nashville Super Speedway. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel already, please go ahead and do that. It really helps us out, helps give us opportunities like this to show you all cooler content. So go ahead and subscribe, tap the notification bell. Also follow us on TikTok and Instagram, and we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.